chat. Welcome back. Happy to see you. I am Chef Jay Tay. Happy Sunday to you. You like that angle on my probably 20-year-old Black & Decker toaster oven? Yeah. It's earned its age. That handle has seen better days. Welcome in, everyone. Now I can settle into actually streaming instead of stressing out that nothing's ready. And I'm, like, wanting to go back to sleep. Hi, Soph. Welcome in, Zeeks. Happy to see you, Nan Reader. Hi there, JK. Hello, Alex. Welcome's Logo. Hello, 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 hello. We're doing chicken parm tonight, as requested by the great SoCal Ozzy. And we're going to be doing it sort of standard. I don't know what the dinner command is up to. It's dreaming up things again. It's off in LLM Wonderland. So I apologize for that. We're not going to be doing zucchini with our breadcrumbs, garlic infused breadcrumbs. We will be doing a pretty, well, at least I think, of relatively standard chicken parm. I'm still dithering on a couple of things with this meal. I've been stressing out actually more on Thanksgiving later this week / next week than I have been about tonight. Tonight's almost been like an afterthought to me, being like, okay, do I have everything for Thanksgiving? At least it's repeating itself and not dreaming up new things every time the dinner command is used. It's repeating the same dreams, but, you know, hey. So I at least got it to remember to run Olama once and form the dinner command. I am not on a normal stream schedule this next week, Alex. I will be streaming tonight. I will be streaming tomorrow. I may be streaming on Tuesday. I'm definitely doing prep on Tuesday. Maybe streaming on Tuesday. Streaming on Thursday. I will be streaming on Thanksgiving. I've put a full menu into the Discord of what I'm planning. I think I got everything. I think we're good. Thank you, Zeeks, for that resub. I greatly appreciate ya. Thank you for helping the stream out. I'm not sure which one it is. I think it was the pictures one, but Ozzy has won a couple of the clips and pictures monthly contests now. And so this is one of his redeems, as is Monday. As was Pasta Visual. We got a 21 gram pour tonight. I'm dithering on, do I make pasta or do I just use ziti? But anyway, speaking of Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving, I'm skipping Friday. Since I've streamed on Thanksgiving, there's going to be a whole bunch of food. The house is probably going to be a mess. Sunday, I don't have plans in the books, but I do plan on streaming on Sunday. I don't know what I'm technically going to be doing. Maybe leftovers, maybe some creative leftover, maybe something completely different. And then we got plans for first, which is the Monday after that. We're going to be doing a white bean and harissa soup. I'm sort of steering clear of the turkey entirely this year. I've been doing a fair amount of turkey this year. I'm just not doing it on Thanksgiving. Uh-oh, scale's dying. Turkey gumbo does not sound bad, though. Like, you don't need a strong meat for... There's a lot of flavor there with gumbo. You don't need... See, now you're teasing me with the idea of duck gumbo. Can we fix this light if we go this way? Can we get rid of this light somewhere? No, duck is probably not a great sausage meat. It tends to be the meat itself tends to be pretty lean. Like, duck fat is sort of awesome, but it doesn't work all that great with the meat. So it's more like, it's just like beef, actually. Like, beef doesn't make great sausages either. Some people may protest that thought. Yeah. It's just too big of a problem to figure out for one person. Thank you all for joining me this lovely Sunday. I hope you are all planning something lovely for your Thanksgiving. Cheers. That'd be better with some sugar in it. Not horrible. Could use a little sugar. I'm sweet. I need coffee to be too. I originally bought this to give it to my grandmother, but fits me too. Hello, Kip. Welcome, welcome. Oh, what are we doing? Am I making pasta? That was all the encouragement I needed, Alex. I am straight up skipping making pasta. That's a good one, dad joke. I wish I knew that dad joke a little earlier today. Yeah, so I think I'm going to use pre-made. We got that set. You need to get this set for frying. Nice. I don't think of these as very thin cut, but yeah. That's what they're sold as. So if you don't want to have 4 pounds of chicken in one package, you can have 3 hacked up breasts instead. But seriously, thin sliced, boneless and skinless breast. Okay, that's not thin sliced, but it's not a full breast. This Like the other half of this breast. And then this is neat, like, this is not thin or sliced well or... I thought it would be nice to have thin sliced pre-cut pieces of chicken since I don't really need a whole bunch of extra chicken around the house right now. But... I'll at least butterfly that one out. That'll help with some of that. I don't know what to do with this. Well, also I should probably cut this out. Yeah, I'm gonna butterfly that too. Hi, Master Splits. This, yeah. Like, that should have gone in the tenderloin pack. Why does this always happen when I do this with chicken? Why I get a pack of chicken, and a pack of chicken is way too much for pounded out. Too loud? Should I mute this? Thank you, Soph. I want to mute them. And you all can blame Soph. Taking out connective tissue at the top there of our tenderloin. I guess we'll use that too. Hello, Will Poker. I guess we'll do that. Anyone making pies? It's pie time. Yeah, that's sort of disgusting. I can't imagine anyone doing that on purpose, but was it on purpose? I have a feeling they just lost out on a pie. That's got to be a bummer. I got a couple pies that I just don't think to make pies, and it's probably a good thing for me health-wise, but there's a number of pies that are on my list that I've been, like, wanting to do. New York Times had a beautiful cranberry pie last year that just looked gorgeous. I didn't really like any of the ones that they're showing this year. Wow. So he's signed up for it. Yeah, that's... Sir gets what he deserves. They get what they deserve. But hey, you can leave it as like a, bonus on, I don't. You're renting, so it's probably not so much like, but if you own the place, you could be like, hey, person sends me a free pie every year. I bonus. I was a big fan of pecan pie as a kid, but I was a big fan of sugar as a kid. Let's be honest, I'm still a fan of sugar. But I used to love the heavy stuff as a kid. And I'll still find myself going out and like ordering that same sort of stuff if I'm in that sort of a situation. But half of the time after I order it, I'm like, why did I do this? I'd much rather something, and in general, I like things that are lighter, more citrus, more acidic, more, rather than, heavy brownie with tons of hot syrup and... more interest in, say, a key lime or a meringue pie than a derby pie. That said, I like derby pie. I made derby pie in the past. May make it again in the future, but just not all about the heavy, chocolatey. Breaking out the cellulose. This isn't the cellulose. This is breadcrumbs that I'm probably not buying again. These are labeled as panko, and they're a little larger. They ain't panko. They're marketing it as sourdough panko. I gave them a shot because the alternative was the main brand that is way over expensive. But it's the standard. Uh-oh, getting cellulose on me. I'm supposed to refrigerate this after opening it. Dried thyme. Oregano. Black pepper. Salt. So these are the flavorings in our panko breadcrumb coating on our chicken. It's going to be these sourdough panko breadcrumbs that I'm trying out. Dried thyme, dried oregano, black pepper, salt. We're going to do some garlic powder, onion powder, and that'll be it. Got the leftover onions that I sliced the other night for the burgers and other stuff. I'm going to throw that in with the sauce. Oh wait, this is for frying. Can't use that for sauce. So we'll turn the water on and back. We'll move you over here with no flame. And I don't want to use any of those for that. Oil. Frizzle. That's a fun word. Right up there with frisé. I'm going to spice things up tonight. So, I'm going to add some red pepper flake to my sauce. Along with the rest of my thyme, dried thyme, and some dried oregano. Freeze-dried basil. And then our first cheat of the evening, using up this bottle of Rayo's, which it wasn't bad in the lasagna, or the enchilada lasagna. Turn the heat down. Alright, we'll let that sit. Let's get a lid on that water. Let's add actual frying oil to our oil pan to get that heating up. Actually, I think we're going to swap sides here. We're going to fry over here. Sauce over here. You okay, Splits? And while our oil is heating, we'll need our oven heating too. Not to a high temp, but say 250. Level where it'll still warm things up. It's not just keep warm, but isn't raging hot, and I have to keep track of it every 5 seconds. Ah, the gabagool. Did it do that for... No. And... You want to know the even more irritating thing about the dinner command? Is that it also generated this in the Discord. Like, that's mildly accurate. So it's still wasting resources regenerating this thing who knows how many times. Starting with thicker pieces first. About 170. I don't know if that was in camera or not. How's everyone else doing? Anyone else tired like me? I've been really tired the last, week. I don't know, I guess I've been getting some stuff done too, but I've just not I am not rip roaring ready to go into a busy week for Thanksgiving. Yeah, Kip, it's a bummer. I wish I had more energy. Ugh, that one's horrible. That one's sort of a last 10 years type thing for me. Like, I never had that problem as a kid. Even in college, be like, I sort of need to piss. Let's just roll over and go back to sleep. Now it's getting to the point where, like a couple times in the morning. And it's like, were we just awake? What do you get if you put a duck in the cement mixer, quacks in the pavement? Oh, dad joke. Can't remember where it is. It Chicago that has the famous rodent in the sidewalk? Like, that could be a couple of cities in my... It could be San Francisco, it could be Chicago, it could be... One of them famously... Like, to the point famously that it was dug up and they saved it. There's an imprint in a sidewalk somewhere in one of the major cities that... From a rodent... or something of some form. And it was in the news, and I read about it in the news because some scientist has decided that, oh no, that must be a squirrel that made that indent. But still, a rodent made whether it's a squirrel or a less liked rodent, decided to squat down in some cement and make their mark. And I'm remembering it because of a dad joke. Let's see what the bot's going on tonight. Well, we're waiting on oil to heat up here. Where's my link to the bot? Unlabeled, that's where it is. Let's see. Trending, sports, and more sports. I don't care about sports. Sorry, sports lovers. Not much going on there. How we doing? The how we doing thing made me think of Friends, which made me think of the Moist Maker, which made me think of the fact that Kraft is actually selling bottled imitation leftover gravy this year. I don't know that I've had a manufactured gravy that tastes good. And to buy a bottle of it. Like, gravy's amazing, but fake gravy? Bottled gravy? Imitation gravy? Uh-oh, Zeeks. Uh-oh. But you're still calling her your partner, so there's at least that. Yeah, Kip, it's even worse. We gotta be getting close enough that I can start breading. Made it to 300 on our oil. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on my news sources here on the bot too. Ooh, Black Friday sale. How much is it? Still too much for my interest. Ninja sold over 20,000 air fryers on Amazon this Black Friday already. I bought some hard drives earlier today. I posted the link for the ones that I bought in the Discord. They're 14 terabyte external drives, but they're the type that you can ditch the container if you want. I'm on the edge whether I want to bother doing that or not. I mean, I have 2 spare USB drives. Or, plugs. But it was considerably lower price than any of the other, just internal bare-bone drives. Like, that was a ridiculous deal compared to... Alright, going in with our first fry here. Actually, let's double check that temp. It was a little low last time I looked at it. Now, let's give it another 10 degrees. My files and everything are such a mess right now. I had maxed out my own old NAS and was piling up stored stuff on my 2 other PCs. And I haven't gotten everything back working now that I have the second NAS going. I could get rid of the first NAS now that I have the second one. Actually, it's on my list of potential things to do because it would give me, even though the PC my original NAS is running on is ancient, like not even same socket size as typical CPUs available right now. It's still useful for some things. Stuff does not leave this house to go to electronic recycling unless it is broke. Alright, first one going in. That's the other sort of annoying thing about network storage, depending on what your setup is. But a lot of them, you gotta keep going with the same, if you want to keep pooling the same way. Nice. Going back to the egg issue, or the egg dilemma, you could console them, letting them know that commercial mayos have next to no egg actually in them. Like, have you seen a photo of broken mayonnaise in a store? I just realized that might have been playing sound and I didn't know it. I hope not. Yeah, I'd prefer my milk to stay in the carton too. Like, I see all those videos of like street food where they put just about anything in a plastic bag. Oh, it doesn't look secure. We'll add a second plastic bag. I forgot about that. I forgot about you strange Canadians with your bagged milk. And I actually don't mind that at all. But it sort of goes counter to what I was saying. But I was thinking, like, those cheap shopping bags that they put out food, all sorts of food in. But I think you knew that too. Adding more breadcrumbs in here. Not many, but a few. I don't know about that, so Montreal seems to love the riot. Like, just about anything happens in Montreal and they want to have a riot. May not be a bad riot, but I must have bumped the heat on the oil. Yeah, it dropped down considerably. I have not been. I've been tempted for quite a while to make a drive up, this isn't necessarily Montreal, but I have for the longest time wanted to make a drive up the West Coast to Vancouver. I'm mildly thinking of doing that next summer if I'm still around here. We'll see. TwitchCon comes into that consideration too, and I'm not in love with the idea of going back to TwitchCon right now, but that would be next year. I see Nova Scotia and I just sort of think, brr, isn't that cold? Like, it was bad enough living in the Midwest as a kid. Like, I don't like the cold. Me and cold do not work. Yeah, that's even worse. So, yeah. Dry cold, okay. Yeah. Humidity, just no thank you. Whether it's cold or hot, I don't want it moist. No moist weather for me, please. Giving this one a bit longer because it got pretty cool in there. I know it's sort of funny to call 250 degrees cool, but it was about 150 degrees lower than I wanted it. But yeah, I always sort of wanted to go and visit the fish market and in Seattle and Portland and do that whole area up there through Portland, Seattle, Vancouver. Now the real problem is that I don't know how I do in real heat either. Because I lived in Phoenix for 6 months or so, but it was winter. And it was still 90 degrees out during the day. And there were things that irritated me about that when I was there. Like, there was certainly this effect where you'd be out for the day and you'd be out in, a light t-shirt and shorts because it is hot. And then nighttime rolls around and you're still out and it's like freezing out. It's like 40. The temperature difference in places like Phoenix and Vegas, just, whoa. And so I haven't been through the extreme heat of the summer either. And I don't know if I can handle, I don't know if that's for me either. Too much flour. Wish I had an easy metric for how much breading I need. The egg I was just about right on. Like, there was egg left over, but there wasn't really a whole lot more egg there. Like, that was I could have maybe got one more piece through that. Breadcrumbs I obviously did okay with. Yeah, they do things like that too. Like, I think I've talked about that in stream before, where you don't see many dealerships with dark interiors or anything along that line. I also had when I was there for 6 months, I had a beehive design its entrance into my apartment. That was fun. Woke up one morning to a ledge with like 6 or 8 dead bees on it, and more of them pegging the window trying to get out. I was also in that apartment complex that got into trouble with the local news because it was 90 degrees out and they weren't running their swamp cooler. They still had heat in the apartments. Like, I was an extern. I was working for the first time in my life more than full time. And, like, I was not in the apartment, so it was not that big of a deal for me. But, yeah, it's not a place I would want to stay on a longer term basis. Alright, so we got our chicken cooked. Or at least our chicken fried. It's cooked, but... put a lid on this oil and forget it exists for the rest of the night because it's way too hot to deal with. We got boiling water in back. Let's get some pasta. Probably some of my last Italian pasta. So we need another tray. Parchment. Now we decide which sides face up on these. That ain't getting Parmesan. fresh mozzarella. The good stuff. Yeah, this is just getting eaten. I approve, that's tasty chicken. Alright, saucing our chicken. What was that noise? It was the lid popping up and down. So these are all going in the oven now. Melt the cheese. Start the broiler there. Set a timer so I make sure and not forget that chicken is under high heat. I did have the oven at 250. That was more for if I ended up with chicken that I felt I needed to throw into the oven, which I didn't. So instead we're just trying to get some nice melt on that cheese with the broiler. Great job solving crudo. surprised that there's no definition for crudo. Trying to move it around. The mozzarella is starting to melt. Do I have to make any stock soon? No, I have quite a bit of chicken stock in the fridge right now, in the freezer right now. I'm tentatively, I haven't put it in the schedule, but I'm tentatively planning to stream on Tuesday when I will be making duck stock for Thanksgiving. I'm making duck stock to make my sauce. But that's not going to be like full-blown normal stock. It's going to be old school bouillon. Old school original definition as a bouillon is a stock made for a specific dish or a specific item. I'm not going to be. For duck stock. Like, a traditional duck stock, yeah, there wouldn't be really any difference to it unless you want to do something to heighten or enhance specifically duck. But my normal combination of stuff for stock is using leeks like flour. 100% leeks, 50% onion, 25% celery, 25% carrot, 12.5% fennel. And then herbs, what's available. Don't put anything green in there until the very end. Garlic optional. Well, that's nice and glossy and beautiful looking, but it's not what we want there, so we're going to keep going with that. And we're going to pull this pasta, which salt their pasta. I did add red pepper flakes to my red sauce just because I wanted things a little spicier. It's not my normal method of operation. Let's see, how are we looking down here? I want a little color. Come on, cheese. Give me a little bit of singe. I'm torn on if I should make... I'm going to do a roasted mushroom, pepper. I'm going to add a bunch of root veggies in there, even though I didn't list it in the name of it. And orzo pasta for Thanksgiving as one of the sides. I'm going to do that ahead of time so that the pasta has time to take on all the flavors, sort of a deal. It's almost like my stuffing of this Thanksgiving. And I'm not sure if I should go hot peppers in that or not because of everything else. Like, hot peppers doesn't necessarily mix with everything else in the party. I just wanted a sort of savory, filling, nice side that goes along it. Like, I didn't want to do like I wanted to do some things that were a little bit out of the norm as far as Thanksgiving this year. And so, I'm doing a corn and spinach custard. I'm doing with feta. I'm doing that salad too. Sage? I never know with sage. I have not had great results with sage, and so I've sort of shy away from sage, if I'm being honest. Why no color yet? Give me some color, mozzarella. But sage certainly is, it's in all sorts of things in fall. Like, it is certainly its time to shine. I think of sage more being with, like, squashes and things in that flavor profile area. That's sort of what I did off stream the other night. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're getting there. We're getting there. If Chef didn't keep opening the door, it'd be getting quicker. No, but that was off stream recently. I forget when. But seared chicken breasts with mac and cheese. 3-ingredient mac and cheese. Like, took me all of like 20 minutes, including heating the water. There we go. It's only really 2 of them, but that'll do. It'll work. I didn't want to be that messy about getting it in the bowl, but I guess we're here now. That one's too big. That's a bummer. I guess we're only going with one then. Freeze-dried basil. And there you have it, chat. There is my latest rendition of chicken parm. We got a couple other nice pieces here. We did get a nice color on those two, so I ditched those. And this one was too large. So I think that is going to wrap things up for tonight. Had a lovely time tonight. Thank you for not making me make pasta. I appreciate that. I think things turned out lovely. I will be back here tomorrow. We're doing donuts tomorrow. We're going to be doing creme brulee donuts with a bourbon eggnog frosting filling. So that is the fun for tomorrow night. I hope you come back and join me. And then, like I said, Tuesday, I'm up in the air, but probably gonna stream. And then Thursday, I'm definitely going to stream. And if you're curious, the whole menu is up in the Discord. Easy for all of you to see. Ooh, that's where we're going. I'm going to send all you lovely people off to a lovely creator, very chill stream. Very chill stream. I'm going to send you off to go hang out with Oolong Crossing, who does tea. But what got me to immediately click on giving them a raid is they have a beautiful piece of fruit there that I very much enjoyed when I was in China and have not seen since. Regardless, I hope you have a great night. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me tonight. I had fun tonight. I wish to see you back here tomorrow. Good night, folks.